Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at this little quadcopter by iBaseToy. It's a little mini quadcopter, very basic. It does have altitude hold. As you can see in the box, the model number is the H816H. Of course, the H is going to be for altitude hold. Of course, by iBaseToy. There's not a whole lot else on the box. This is available on Amazon, so you know it has some pretty good instruction manual and the things you'd expect from an Amazon toy. It doesn't have a camera on this one. I believe that there might be a camera version of this drone, but this one just has a white LED here on the front. It has a USB port here on the side, so you can charge the battery internally. Though I didn't see any lights when I plugged it in, so I didn't know how you would know when it's fully charged. I was plugging it in on the bottom here of the battery, which I'll go over in a moment. It flies pretty nice, and it comes with these prop guards installed. And you know, if you're a beginner, which this is more aimed at, that's good to protect it. But it does tend to act as a bit more of a parachute when you're out. You know, not a lot, because you know there's not a whole lot for the wind to get caught up in here. But when you're flying it outside in a windy, a relatively windy day, it does struggle quite a bit into the wind. Even though it's got 3 rates. I was flying on the highest rate into a decent breeze yesterday, and it was struggling quite a bit into the wind. Now, obviously when the wind wasn't blowing, it flew around really nicely. Now it only appears to have 1 yaw rate. It's an okay yaw. I'd prefer it to go a little faster than the highest rate. It's okay, but like I said, I prefer to be a little faster. But it does funnels okay. So I mean, the yaw is not bad. The on and off switch here, it's on the side, and little kind of unique power switch that you hold in for a moment until the LEDs come on. Now, like I was mentioning, the battery charges here off a micro USB cable, which they include. There's a green light that's internal in here that lights up on this battery. Now, it's a 520 milliamp hour 1S LiPo. So I was getting I got 8 minutes flight time, which is not bad at all. About a 45 seconds of that was the LVC lights blinking. So not bad at all. So you just plug it in here, and when that green light goes out, then it's charged up. That will take you, around an hour or so to charge this up, maybe a little bit longer. It also comes with a full set of spare propellers and a Phillips screwdriver, pretty common stuff for it. So I like this little quadcopter. It's not the greatest because, like I said, yaw doesn't increase. It's not super sporty, but it's not bad at all. It's certainly be good for a beginner. I think if you took these prop guards off, which I didn't mess with, they just slide off here. It's going to be even a little sportier, a little less weight. It should fly a little bit longer, and it'll probably do a little better in the wind. I might slide these off for the flight review. Depends on whether I remember or not. But a lot of times I like to fly stuff as it comes out of the box, so you know what you're getting out of the box. I could do further testing and take them off and give you an extended flight time. Just know that 8 minutes with them on, take the prop guards off, you're probably going to add another 20-30 seconds of flight time to it if you take these prop guards off. The controller it comes with it. It's kind of like a video game controller, but it's really comfortable. I like it quite a bit. You can see where there's a mount here. It doesn't come off in this one, but it's made to put a phone clip mount. So obviously there's a camera version of this drone. It does have bumpers up on the top. This actually is an unlock, with it being altitude hold, it unlocks propellers, but it doesn't take off. I don't know why. I saw that in the last drone I reviewed, but it does do an auto landing when you press in on this button. As far as I know, this button does nothing. It's not labeled for anything. Why they didn't put the rates up here and the flips up here, I don't know. That was an odd decision, because you can always unlock the props by pressing on the stick. Because when you press in on the left stick, this is your 3 speeds. So like I said, if there's any wind at all, I advise you going to the highest rate if you're flying this outdoors, which is a little bit big to fly in a house. And this one is your 3D flip. So you have to press in while you're flying and then do it. It's not terribly hard, but I would much prefer if the flips would have been if they at least put the flips on this button, since it's not in use. Then you can easily do it in the direction you want to go. So you have to press in and do it. Like I said, not difficult, but if you're a beginner, you're going to dislike that more than if you could use this bumper. This is your pitch and your roll trim. This is your yaw trim, and this right here is headless mode all the way up, and this one right down here is your 1 key return, which is pretty common for them to put that onto one of the trim buttons. But anyway, that pretty much covers this guy. It takes some, I think it takes 4, let's see, 3 or 4 AAA batteries, 4 AAA batteries. So All right, I think that covers everything on this guy. I wanted to put the battery in real quick and show you guys the lights, since I don't remember the LED lights on the bottom. So let's go ahead and put the battery in here and press in on the side till it lights up. And it's red. I don't know how well it's going to show up here. Red in the front and green in the back, which I like that light combination. It's a lot like my CX20, and I think SEMA uses that quite a bit. This could be a SEMA rebrand. I've never seen this exact drone, so don't hold me to that. So let's go ahead and turn it off. And to calibrate the gyros on this was down and to the left, so kind of opposite. A lot of them are down to the right. This is down to the left if you need to recalibrate the gyros. All right, guys, that covers everything. So let's go ahead and take this guy out for a flight review. Okay, guys, I decided to go ahead and take the prop guards off, as I mentioned I might do, because they just slide right off. Very easy to do if you're a beginner and you want to try it out that way. So I'm not a big fan of prop guards. They just add extra weight and they make it easier to get caught up in a tree, and you know, they can make it just a little bit more of a clumsy flyer. So I thought it flew pretty good yesterday with them on, except for into a decent breeze. You know, today there is a very light breeze, but it should be better to fly this today than compared to yesterday. So let's see how it does, you know, without prop guards. Obviously I don't have any video of it with prop guards for you to compare it to, so I just take my word that it, you know, whether it flies any better with the prop guards off. It's certainly going to fly, it should be a little sportier, and it should fly a little bit longer, definitely, with the prop guards off. So let's go ahead and press the power button in here. You can see the white light there in the front too. I don't think I showed you that a while ago, but I did mention it. Let's go ahead and set it down on the concrete and turn the controller on here in the back of the controller, or the base, and then press up and down, and it's bound. To do a gyro calibration, you're not going to be able to see that. It's down to the left. I'll just go ahead and do it and let up. But it should always, most of these drones will calibrate the gyro when you first start them up, when you first power them up. So let's go ahead and let's press in on the top left bumper here, and I'll fire up the props. But as you can see, it does not take off. I don't know why that is. Go ahead and press up on the throttle, and into the air it goes. It just dart up pretty good. So you can see very little pitch, rather slow in the lowest rate. But there's not much breeze today, so we can get by with that. Let's go ahead and press in on the left stick and do a higher rate. You see, it still seems rather slow. Maybe there's a little more yaw. I was fighting the wind yesterday, and I thought the yaw didn't increase. If it does, it's very, very little. And press in again, and that's the highest rate. See, it looks about the same. Let's go down to the lowest rate. See, that's the lowest rate, and it does look like the yaw is the same. So I think I was right on that. It's a decent yaw, like I said, but I would prefer if it went up a little bit. I think that's a good yaw rate for the lowest rate. In fact, that might be a little too fast for the lowest rate. And there's the middle rate. So the yaw appears to be the same, and there's the highest rate, much sportier. I do think it is better with the prop guards off. See, it's actually pretty sporty today now. Like I said, there's not a lot of wind today. Yesterday was definitely more. It really struggled into the wind. I think if I take those prop guards off, that might have given it a little more of a chance to fight that wind. Every little bit of resistance you can get, the wind's going to push against. So it's pushing against all those prop guards, even though there's not much surface area there. And it's just the extra weight it has to carry into the wind. So unless you need these prop guards and you're starting out, I would recommend taking those off outside. I would definitely keep them on if you're trying to fly inside, because this is big enough of a drone that you're going to probably bang into walls. Let's go ahead and try to do some 360 flips here. So you got to press in on the right stick again. I don't know why they didn't use this top bumper. And actually, I just pressed it by accident, because you want so badly to press that bumper and it's not in use. So I don't know why they didn't do that. Let's go ahead and press it on the right, the pitch roll stick, excuse me, and do a flip. See, it flips pretty nice. There it kind of caught. It was kind of a little odd, but it did a good flip. So a forward flip, do a back flip. It's a little bit, it does nice flips. You can see it's not sloppy, but there's a little bit of a herky-jerky motion there, right? At times, a little hop right at the very end. I think it's to make sure it keeps its altitude, but it makes it look like it's stuttering around at the very end. But the flips are fine. So you see, there's a little bit of a herky-jerky there at the end. don't think I've ever seen a drone do that. The flips are fine. It's just kind of odd the way it kind of does a herky-jerky motion at the very end. I think it's trying to, let's get a little closer here and do a forward flip. Like it's trying to, it kind of does a little hop at the very end, like it's trying to keep its altitude or something, and it floats backwards. Let's do it again. That's odd. I haven't seen that before. But the flips are fine, so I'm not really going to say I'm concerned about it. No. It's just a little bit less smooth of a finish. But see, that's pretty sporty. It definitely seems sportier than when the prop guards are on. Now, the breeze here, I think today is going from right to left. So there's a little bit of breeze at its back. But look, that moves along nicely. I was really fighting a stiff breeze at times yesterday, which really kind of made it seem like it was less sportier, because half the time I was flying into the wind, and there's times where I had to, you know, just to look at it close, I had it full pitch forward and it was just standing still in front of me, because that's how much wind I was dealing with yesterday. So I would say it's a bit sportier than I probably made it seem in the table review. You know, I just said it was more ordinary. It certainly is not slow. So I got 8 minutes yesterday. I think with the prop guards off, you're probably going to get 8:20, 8:30, something like that possibly. And the fact that it's not fighting wind today may even raise it more. I wouldn't be surprised to get 9 minutes out of this. Let's go ahead and do a auto landing. Now that's the top left bumper. Sensing the ground. Oh, it's really, that was a rather poor auto landing. Let's go ahead and we'll take that up and try that again. That is very unusual. I didn't do that on me yesterday. Seems like there's always something unexpected happening in these reviews. Let's see if we can. There we go. When they crash at times, it takes them a moment to realize that you got it all, you know, it's bound and ready to go. I think it's stabilizing the gyro. Let's go ahead and try that again. There's a little bit of a breeze here from right to left. You see I'm kind of fighting it. Let's go ahead and land it and see how it. Okay, that was fine. It seemed like that first time it just had trouble detecting the ground. I'll try, if I remember, I'll try to test that one more time, because a little quadcopter like this should have no problems landing. So maybe that first time was a bit of a fluke. I really like this. This would be great for a kid, not too young because it's a little bit too sporty. But if you want to let a younger kid fly it indoors with the prop guards, it'd be perfect for that. I have no idea what the price on this drone is. I will include a link to the Amazon if you guys are interested. And we'll see what the price is. I really don't want to guess, except for that it can't be too expensive. It's no camera on it. It's not very big. It's rather basic, so it should be relatively affordable. Let's try that landing again here and see if it does better this time. Oh, that was perfect. You know, you get a bit of a breeze like I had there, and I'm correcting it because I don't want it to end out on the pool cover, and then that can cause a bit of problems, and you're constantly moving it around as it's trying to land. So overall, I like this guy. Now, I mentioned a while ago in the table review that it had a USB port on the side. I'm sure you can use that to charge it. I just don't know how it lets you know whenever the battery's charged. The instruction manual just shows you plugging the battery in directly to the micro USB cable. So I don't know. I didn't try charging it that way. To be safe, I just plugged the battery straight in. The battery's not hard to get out. But if you don't want to mess with taking it out, I'm sure you can charge it in there. The battery's going to use that internal green light, so it's going to still turn off when it's done. I just don't know if it's going to let you know when it's finished charging, so you may have to pop that battery out, plug the battery back into a cable, and then see if the light goes back out, because anytime you plug these batteries in, even if it's finished, the light will come back on for a few minutes as the LiPo you know, the charge drops a little bit, and then it'll try to charge again. So it's not, you know, it's going to come on if you plug it back in, even if you finish charging right to the battery. You know, there's times where I don't remember which light was supposed to do what, and I'll unplug it, plug it in, the battery, you know, the light will come right back on, even if it just went out. Now there's flashing, so I think we'll get the LVC now. That white light is actually pretty good to see for orientation. I love when they put white lights on the front of these drones. The Bugs 3 is an excellent quadcopter, and it has that bright white light. It just makes it so easy to fly it around. That's why I'm so glad they put that on this drone. If you're not going to put a camera on the front, put a light on the front. And I'm actually glad there's no camera. I don't need Wi-Fi FPV. I just want to fly this thing around and have fun. I don't need to see where I'm going. I don't need to record video. It's just a toy. It's not going to have a whole lot of, you know, it's not going to have really good video. Let's go ahead and just land it now since we're at the LVC. And it landed fine again. So we just had that one fluke landing at the first, and I believe that was mostly caused by some wind. Overall, this is actually a pretty nice drone. I would recommend flying it with the prop guards off, unless you're going to fly it inside. So, you know, it's much sportier. It's going to fly a little longer, and it's not going to get caught up in any kind of wind a little more like a parachute. So, all right, guys, well, it wraps up. I hope you enjoyed the review of this little iBaseToy drone. One thing I didn't mention, it looks like there's a micro USB slot here, but it's not. It's just an empty slot. So if you try to put a card in there, it's going to fall in. Of course, there's no camera, but a person that gets this might think, oh, I can put a card in here, because they don't realize there's no camera. I didn't even realize when I first got it that this was just a LED until I looked closely. So make sure that if you get this, you don't think, like, oh, I got a slot, there must be a camera in this, and drop a card in there, and then you have to take it apart to get your micro USB card out. So you can see there definitely is a camera version of this drone. So please do subscribe to the channel, guys, if you like this. I appreciate if you subscribe. If you do, make sure you press that bell, or even my return subscribers, so you know when I upload something new, because it's so easy to not do that, and then you miss a whole bunch of videos. And as always, guys, have a good day.
The power of the dark side.